Hey everybody, we are teaching Vermillion. And this time let's talk about monochrome paintings. Now, monochrome paintings is a way to paint, not just for a professional artist or a serious artist, but it's a great way for somebody who has not painted much to get some practice and to try some different ideas, different things to think about while they're painting. Now, a lot of novice painters really get caught up in mixing colors, matching colors. But painting is more than just about the color itself. It's also about light and shadow and form. So monochrome painting helps you really look at just the light and dark values without trying to read what color the object is at the same time. So monochrome actually means one color, single color. And a lot of people think of black and white, grayscale, as monochrome. And technically, yes, that's true. We're actually going to talk about 3 levels of monochrome painting, including black and white. Now, the nice thing about just black and white, I've got a nice actual black and white custom palette, as you can see here, and it's just going for the darker, lighter tones, shadow and highlight. Doesn't matter what color the sphere is. It could be an orange, it could be an apple, it could be a big blueberry, and that's not the point. The point is to see where the highlights and where the shadows are, and see if we can paint that tone difference. Yeah, it's blue, but it's pale blue and dark blue. It may be a cream-colored pillar, but now where does the shadow and highlight change the value? I don't care about the yellow part. I care about the lighter and the darker part. So monochrome painting is studying the way the light changes the color, not so much monochrome. So black and white is good for practice. It's good for learning that technique. But we're going to look at now stage 2 of monochrome, where it's not just black and white, but it's actually bringing in a color. So I'm going to bring in some blue here, and instead of just black and white, it's going from lighter and darker, but we're now bringing in color itself. Again, I don't care about the original color. It could be an orange, it could be an apple. But I want to use darker and lighter shades of blue. I might even make a custom palette so that I can mix only within these shades. In this case, the monochrome is blue. And we're just going for lighter and darker shades of blue. It's a very similar practice. But now it's also giving you a little more variation, a little more feeling to the painting as well. If I did this same thing using orange, it would certainly feel different than this blue version. Or if I used a nice green, now we're getting into a forest or pasture, as opposed to underwater or cold depression or whatever the blue evokes in the person looking at your painting. So monochrome isn't just black and white, but it's actually taking color and going lighter and darker to explore the same types of things, but giving you a few more ways to play with it. So monochrome grayscale, monochrome single color. Now the next level up, I'm going to call the 3rd level of monochrome. Not only can we increase the white and black values, the brightness as it were, but you'll notice the blues get very intense, very vibrant. So we could also change the vibrancy in this monochrome painting. So not only can I have these levels of blue, but if I start bringing in the blue intensity, now you can see how the sphere is really popping off the background. It's not just brighter and darker blue, but I'm getting more intense blue, more vibrant blue at the same time. So I'm still doing that monochrome, still shades of blue, but now I'm going for lighter, darker, as well as intensity, saturation, vibrancy. We do a whole episode on the basics of saturation, and here is an example of bringing it. So I could start with just light and dark values of black and white. I could keep it monochrome in grayscale, or I could introduce color values, so it's monochrome, but a little more versatility, a little more things to explore. Once I'm comfortable with that, I can now bring in vibrancy. I can bring in saturation. So now, even though this painting is technically just blue, there's a lot going on. So this, as a new painter, helps you forget about color matching, helps you forget about, is it orange? Is it that shade of orange? How does it change? And now we can really explore the light and the color. We can still keep the form and the shape, but now we can really look at the values of light and intensity rather than just blues, greens, orange, and brown. Does this make sense? Let me know in the comments below if you have questions about this. Feel free to make a very simple palette and paint something. See how it comes out. It doesn't have to be a still life or a landscape. You could still go abstract. But the more you do, in fact, let's put up an abstract monochrome right now. Not only can you do shades of a color, but perhaps you could do, instead of black and white, I'll do two different colors. So here's a green and a red, sort of a landscape, just changing between red and green. So another way of doing monochrome is limiting your color palette. I hope this gives you some new things to explore. Let us know not only if you have questions, but if you have requests for other episodes or comments you'd like to make, or even if you want to show off your own pictures and your own videos. We don't mind using our comments to demonstrate other people using these tools. So this is Vermillion, the oil painting app in VR, and we're talking about monochrome paintings, how it's more than just black and white. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was fun. We'll see you next time. Have fun painting.